Dexter Resurrection, episode 6, titled Catamounts. And this episode I found to be the weakest episode of the season so far. Not that it's bad, it's just like there's one element of the show, or this episode particularly, that just drags everything down. Because, like, I get it, you want to give some depth and some, like, really a hard hitting story towards every character, but sometimes it just gets too much, to the point it just feels like it's stopping the break of the story. Then, like, there's a part of me that felt like, what was the purpose of that? Or I get the point. Let's move on. Let's get the main story going. Let's keep the gears rolling. Because everything dealing with Dexter's friend dealing with the grief of his mom. At the beginning, I was like, oh, this is quite good, and this and that, and so kind of getting, like I was like, I liking it. But then the cat stuff happens. I'm like, oh, this is dragging too much. This is dragging too much. And I just found that element of this episode to drag. And then the whole thing of him mentioning, like, it is a tragic thing that this character has gone through. That clearly he was made into a child soldier. And he had to do, forced to do unspeakable things as said child soldier. And why he's so attached to his mom, because his mom found him in this state, and bring her to the U.S. and bring him to the U.S. to start a new life, and leave that past behind, and all that. And I just, as much as a breaking story that is, I just found it just a bit unnecessary, because it doesn't have anything core of the main plot, really. Unless it's just a simple thing of like, hey, this is the final time that we'll see these characters, so let's give them one big follow-up. But again, it's like, still, why? I just felt like, hey, the funeral happened, let's move on. Now, of course, the kill in this episode is all around the Jedi killer, who kills people in pairs. A father and a child, siblings, what have you. They kill people in pairs, and they're in lines, so it looks like a two, like the Roman numeral, number for two, and you get. And you understand the sense of his personality. Like, he's very proud that he's on the FBI most wanted list. Like, he's the serial killer that everyone on the FBI is trying to hunt for. And they don't know what he looks like. I get, I like his personality. I love how he is very, like, look, there's people out there who are poor, it's like anything. There's people who are great at something, but they don't want to announce it. He's a guy I want. He's the type of guy who's like, look, I'm announcing it. And all the other big serial killers have nothing on me. Like, he called Zodiac Killer an amateur. I was like, did they not catch Zodiac? Like, we don't even know who the Zodiac Killer is still. All these years later. So, and Jack the Ripper and all that kind of stuff. So, I think anyway. It's weird to put serial killers in that kind of, like, who's better, this fictional one or the real one? It's a weird twisted thing that the show does to you. It's a weird twisted thing that the show does, but you see how sneaky this guy is, and how he's basically the type of guy who will just walk in people's houses. He's kind of like the Night Stalker, just walks in people's houses and just kills them. And that's and the one thing I like, this is weird to say, what I like when Dexter was researching on him is we get to see how he does it in a way. Because one thing I was kind of like, okay, I get it, Dexter's trying to stop the serial killers doing serial killer stuff. But at the same time, to understand the depth and horror these guys do, there's a part of me that wants to, like, kind of see what they do. Just have understand how dangerous they are and how twisted and sick they are. Now, of course, the point, the idea of, like, hey, here's the tattoo guy, and the tattoo guy, it could turn, torture porn kind of level, or when does the violence go too far? And, but seeing crime photos of Jedi's of victims gives you a sense of how long and sickly this guy is, and that. So that's why I kind of enjoy it. And the big twist at the end, which I won't spoil, gives you a sense like, okay, how much does Jedi know? How much does Jedi actually know? And that. Because here's the thing. There has to be a point. I'm counting this. Next week, by the end of this episode, by the end of next week's episode, the group, the serial killer group, the remaining members of the serial killer group fan club thing, is going to find out that Dexter is not red. He is the Bayard the Butcher. Or at least the word is that the Bayard the Butcher is out there. That's what it's going to be. And of course we all think, oh shit, he's dead. Oh shit, Dexter's fucked. I don't think that's going to be the case, because remember, the Bayard the Butcher probably thought a fanboy like Larry is. Larry is a fanboy of serial killers. So the idea of him being the Bayard the Butcher, the actual Bayard the Butcher, not James Stokes, is going to be, for him, it's like meeting, it's like a music star meeting, I don't know, it's like a Swiftie meeting Taylor Swift. It's going to be a big fucking thing for him. So, him being, Dexter, I think it's going to be a big, like, oh my gosh, you! Well, while also all the other members are going to be like, but he kills us. He hunts us down. Like, why? Because for a serial killer, he's the boogeyman. He's the one serial killer you don't want to meet, kind of situation. But yeah, it does feel like next week, by looking at the promo, it does feel like next week is when people will find out. At least that he's not red. Them knowing he's the Bayard the Butcher is a whole song and dance, but I really think it's next week. The stuff doing with Harrison, I quite like. I didn't. I get the idea of him having the urge, like he still has the Dexter urge of wanting to kill people, and so him picturing killing or at least stabbing the asshole landlord, with a fork. I get, want to showcase that, and also have a sense of connection that these two characters have. I enjoyed that. And I you know what the weirdest thing, I think everybody has said this with the difference between New Blood and Resurrection, is like Harrison in New Blood wasn't really that interesting as a character, or that he started to be interesting, but it just, he wasn't, they just didn't know what to do with him, right? This one, they kind of fixed the character, and it kind of works, what they do. And seeing, like, the tie, and them doing classic, Dexter and Harrison doing classic father-son stuff, like, hey son, let me show you how to tie a tie. Like, okay. That's a way to, that's a cool, those things are great, or saying that you're not a monster, And it's kind of true. It's one thing to think about something, there's another of doing it. Because we all probably have really dark thoughts. We all have, like, I just wanted to just, do X, Y, and Z. But you hold back, you don't do it. That's why when I hear like pre-crime stuff, like Minority Report stuff, I'm like happening in real life. That's why I'm like, guys, there's a difference between thinking it and then doing it. So that's the whole concept of it. But anyway, if you've seen this episode, let me know and let me know your thoughts of episode 6.